My name is Ryan Kuhlman. I am doing a speech over the Battle of Iwo Jima. My audience consists of high schoolers and college students.
I'm Zach Young.
I'm Kirsten.
I'm Garrett. CJ Schaefer.
I'm Lloyd.
Is everyone familiar with World War II?
Yes.
We remember that the United States and our allies defeated the Japanese in this war, but very few know about the bloody and vicious battle that took place on a small island called Iwo Jima. Today, I hope you learn about the efforts that our American troops did to keep our land free. The first thing I will talk about is the leading up to the battle and the battle itself. Then I will talk about the soldiers who lost their lives and what they did for us. And lastly, I will talk about the veterans and servicemen and how we should show respect and admiration to them. The beginning of the war started when the U.S. was bombed at Pearl Harbor by the Japanese by fighter planes. Japanese cruisers were sitting in the Pacific Ocean undetected by American radars when they sent out airplanes. These airplanes flew in and destroyed almost the entire American naval fleet, and this affected America and brought them into the war directly. From that point on, America and the Navy moved into the Pacific Ocean and started claiming small islands individually controlled and controlled by Japanese. The first major island that American controlled was Saipan. Saipan laid in between America and Japan. Although it is much closer to Japan than America was, Saipan was still a long ways from Japan, and any flight that made it to Japan and back without being injured was considered very lucky. So because of this reason, America looked to move towards a closer island to Japan, and that was Iwo Jima. Iwo Jima was a major threat to the U.S. as it was, because it had two airfields that homed Mitsubishi Zeros, Japanese airplanes that were considered the most dangerous and advanced airplanes at that time. That came from historylearningsite.com. Also at Iwo Jima, it served as a lookout for the mainland of Japan. It gave Japan warning of any attacks 2 hours in advance, and for those reasons, it would seem to be a perfect spot for America to move on to next. Now that we know why we entered the war and the importance of Iwo Jima, I will talk about the fierce and bloody battle that took place here. First action took place on January 1st, 1945, when ships and airplanes flew over Iwo Jima and bombed the island. That came from iwojima.com. Due to great planning and strategy of the Japanese, very few casualties were taken because tunnels were dug underground and pillboxes were dug in the side of Mount Suribachi, a volcano that once formed the island of Iwo Jima. Here's a map of the tunnels and pillboxes of Iwo Jima. I'll pass it around for you to see now. As soon as the Americans thought that they had taken enough casualties from the Japanese, they started to invade the beaches. Much to their surprise, they were met by vigorous fighting of the Japanese at the beach side. After hours of fighting, they finally cleared the beaches, and as soon as the beaches were cleared, tanks, military vehicles, supplies, and other marines could be shipped onto the beaches and to the island of Iwo Jima. With the beaches cleared, they now moved to Mount Suribachi, which they considered to be the stronghold of the Japanese army. After 4 days of fighting, Mount Suribachi was finally taken, and American troops moved to the top of the mountain to raise an American flag. A photographer captured this moment and is still used as an iconic image to represent World War II and the Battle of Iwo Jima itself. Finally, on March 26, 1945, the last Japanese soldier was removed from the island, and Iwo Jima was under American control now. This is the first time in 5,000 years that any foreign nation moved in and took control over native Japanese land. And Iwo Jima turned out to be very beneficial to America. With its two airfields on the island already, It allowed many American planes to land, refuel, and fix any damages on it. On those two runways, two B-29 bombers that once held the atomic bombs that were dropped on Nagasaki and Hiroshima were wrecked today, and that ultimately ended the World War II, forcing the Japanese to surrender. Iwo Jima also was used as a naval base for ships to come in and rest and refuel. This historic battle shows the heroic actions that our veterans have done, and the U.S. has recognized our servicemen very well. Sadly, American casualties amounted greater than the Japanese, at a count of 26,000 American to 22,000 Japanese. That comes from history.navy.mil. A memorial was erected to commemorate the Americans lost at this battle in Arlington National Cemetery in Washington, D.C. The memorial is a statue of the raising of the flag, that same photo that was taken on Mount Suribachi, which has a picture of the picture. Although a huge number of deaths were taken, 27 Medal of Honors were awarded to soldiers on this battle, which ended up being the most awarded in the entire World War II for a single invasion. We need to remember and respect the servicemen and active servicemen of all the wars that are risking their lives fighting for our freedom and safety. To conclude my speech, I hope you all learned the reasons why we were involved in World War II, starting at Pearl Harbor and then moving to the Pacific Ocean, claiming Small Island. We took Iwo Jima as a strategic point and a pivotal moment in the World War II, taking it to make us much easier winning on the battle. Many soldiers lost their lives, and to respect them, we erected a memorial at Arlington National Cemetery in Washington, D.C., which is still there today. I hope you gain a new perspective of the jobs our vets and active servicemen are doing for us, fighting over in foreign lands, trying to protect us and keep America a land of freedom and opportunity. Thank you.